Good afternoon and welcome to your weekly FX options report. Today is Wednesday, May 5th, 2010. In midweek trade, the major U.S. stock averages are trading lower but have pared back from earlier session lows. On Tuesday, the major U.S. equity indexes saw a sharp sell-off over heightened concerns of the fiscal health of the Eurozone and whether or not the debt crisis can be contained in Greece. On Wednesday in Athens, riots have broken out as demonstrators have been protesting harsh new austerity measures, and the ongoing strikes have been against new taxes and as well as spending cuts. Shifting our focus back to the U.S. in terms of today's economic data releases, the ADP reported that private U.S. employers added 32,000 jobs in the month of April from the revised 19,000 gain in the prior month. The U.S. jobs report for the month of April will be released on Friday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And the ISM reported that for their non-manufacturing survey, the sector did remain flat at 55.4% in April. Over in the Eurozone, PMI for the month of April rose to 55.6 from 54.1 in the month of March. Taking a closer look at the spot FX market, the U.S. dollar is continuing to see strength against the high yielders of the euro as well as the British pound. Now the euro dollar fell below the 130 level, breaking below 129 to hit a low of 128.02 in the New York session. The euro dollar did fall to a 13-month low. One way to trade your views on U.S. dollar strength or weakness is to take a look at IC's FX options. One advantage is that they are U.S. dollar denominated. For more information, you can go to www.fxoptions.com. Now, taking a closer look at the major IC FX option pairs in your daily trend report, let's start out with the AUX, which is the U.S. currency against the Australian dollar. For that pair, a rebound is in sight, and the preference of trading central analysts is long positions above 106. With targets at 111.65 and 116.50 in extension, the RSI for the AUX calls for a further upside. Moving on to the BPX, which is the U.S. currency against the British pound, a rebound is expected. The RSI for that pair is turning up, and it has also rebounded on its support and is expected to post a further up move. Now, the preference of trading central analysts for the BPX is long positions above the pivot of 64, with targets standing at 67.50 and 70 in extension. Moving on to the CDD, which is the U.S. dollar against the Canadian dollar, a bounce is expected. The RSI is bullish for the CDD and does call for a further upside. The preference of trading central analysts is long positions above 99.50, with targets standing at 107.75 and 111 in extension. For the EUI, which is the U.S. currency against the euro, the upside does prevail. Now, it does remain within a bullish channel and should post a further up move. The preference of trading central analysts for the EUI is long positions above 74, with targets at 78 and 80 in extension. For the SFC, which is the U.S. currency against the Swiss franc, the upside does prevail. The RSI is supported by a rising trend line, and the pair has also broken above its resistance and should post a further advance. The preference of trading central analysts for the SFC is long positions above 108, with targets standing at 112.75 and 116 in extension. Last but not least, for the YUK, which is the U.S. currency against the Japanese yen, the upside prevails. It does stand within a bullish channel and is approaching its resistance. The preference of trading central analysts for the YUK is long positions above 90, with targets standing at 96 and 97.90 in extension. And now we will give you our weekly trend opinion for the major IC FX option pairs. Taking a look at last week, the U.S. dollar did continue to strengthen against the majors. Trading Central is still holding on to their positions for the YUK as well as the CDD. In terms of portfolio performance, since its inception in August of 2007, it is higher by 1,340.50%. And since the beginning of this year, the portfolio is higher by 60.41%. We do have two trade alerts for you right now, one for the PCO and one for the CDD. Now, for the PCO, on Monday, Trading Central did recommend puts on the pair. Now, it does stand below its new resistance, while the daily RSI is capped by a medium-term declining trend line. And in terms of the trade alert we have for the CDD, on Tuesday, Trading Central did recommend calls on the pair because it was breaking above its resistance. And looking ahead to next week, Trading Central analysts will be looking at the following pairs of the AUX, NZD, and the SKA. They will be looking at the AUX because it has rebounded on its support and is approaching its resistance, while the daily RSI is well directed. They will be taking a close look at the NZD because it is supported by a rising trend line and should post a rebound as the RSI is breaking above its declining trend line. And last but not least, they will be looking at the SKA as it is rebounding and currently approaching resistance. And that does wrap it up for your weekly FX options report. Make sure to tune in next Wednesday for your latest update. Thanks for watching and have a great day.